We're keeping our eyes on the tropics. That's our big headline as we progress through the remainder of our weekend. All eyes on this area of disturbed weather out closer to the Western Caribbean. And now this has a 60% chance of formation. We'll talk a little more on that in just a moment. But we do have some other areas of interest out across the Atlantic, a 10% chance of development for two different disturbances, then a 30% chance of development in that area of yellow there for another complex of showers and thunderstorms. But the big headline is this disturbance that is out closer to the Yucatan, and I think that's where this system, once it forms, is going to originate. We have an area of high pressure upstairs in the atmosphere, a ridge, and we have another area of spin in the atmosphere that's going to work around that ridge and help kind of kickstart the formation of this area of low pressure as we progress throughout the next 48 to 72 hours or so. But if you were watching us on Friday, this has been upgraded from a 50% chance to a 60% chance. So we're thinking early in the work week, that's when this will form. And as it forms, it's going to coincide with this extreme warmth in the Gulf waters and the Caribbean Sea. And that's been the story really all summer long. So I think that's going to be a factor of strengthening. And as it moves into minimal wind shear, or that difference in wind speed and direction as you head upstairs in the atmosphere, both of these factors will help it continue to organize as it moves over the extreme warm Gulf of Mexico waters. Sitting in the mid to upper 80s right now, and this just adds fuel to the fire, so to speak. So once this does form, I think it's going to lift off to the north over the warmth in the Gulf and help it continue to organize through the mid to latter portion of this upcoming work week. As the storm team continues to track the tropics, what we're going to be watching over the next few days is the formation of that low and where it forms. From there, it all depends on what is happening on a larger, more global scale, so to speak. We're going to be watching the jet stream, the steering pattern in the atmosphere that drives where all of our storm systems go. And in this case, it's fine-tuning the strength of a system that's crossing the United States and where a ridge of high pressure is setting up shop. Is it farther to our west, farther to our east, closer to us here at home? Because between these two factors, it's going to drive the exact track of this potential tropical system. So what we're thinking, really two main scenarios, and I know you've seen many things online, but until this thing really does form, it's tough to really nail down that exact track. So there's really two scenarios, but from what I've seen this morning, we're starting to see some more agreement in what we call the ensembles, and I'll show you that in just a moment. That's really a blend of many different data sets, so to speak, that gives us a better handle on how the track of this thing might evolve. But I am thinking that still the European model wants more of a western shift because of a less strong, so to speak, or a weaker system across the United States moving eastbound. The GFS had a stronger cold front and a stronger system across the heart of the country in an area of high pressure that was weaker to the east, allowing that system to curve up toward the Floridian Peninsula. But right now we're starting to see more agreement in that, and you can see in terms of this data, this is that ensemble that I was talking about in terms of the potential for a depression. We start to see that chance really increasing close to 80% as we head through late next week. And I do think we're going to see this start to lift up toward, the Louisiana, Alabama, Gulf Coast. But it all depends on where it forms and the strength of that system in the heart of the country as that moves eastbound, how that steers this system here in the Gulf. So that's what we're going to continue to fine-tune as we progress through the remainder of our week. So make sure you stay with the Fox 35 Storm Team. We're going to have the latest as we progress through not just tomorrow, but into the work week. Once this thing forms, we'll have all of the details as we continue to fine-tune those. So make sure you stay with us.